look cute, okay? I know they look cute, but are they any good? Are they worth it? In today's video, friends, I'm gonna be reviewing the new Kosas Blush is Life Baked Blushes. I have two of the shades. We're gonna be doing swatches and also some daylight applications. And not only that, I'm curious to see if these are some more affordable dupes to the Hourglass blushes and also the RMS blushes, two of my favorite glowy luxury blush formulas. If you wanna find out and hear all my completely honest thoughts, then keep watching. If you are not familiar with these blushes, the full name is the Kosas Blush is Life Baked Talc-Free Dimensional Plus Brightening Blush. They retail for $29, and on the Sephora website, these are described as a clean, silky smooth, talc-free powder blush baked with squalane and hyaluronic acid in dimensional color duos for a healthy flush of color. So as described, this is a baked formula. It does have hyaluronic acid and it does have squalane. However, I do want to call out this is a powder formula, and those ingredients are usually added to products for moisturization. I don't know how much moisturization you're going to get from that in a powder blush. This is a drier formula. In fact, it is drier than the bronzers from Kosas. I was taking a look at the ingredients, and the bronzers do in fact have more emollients, giving the texture a slightly more just kind of buttery feel. I would say that these are a lot drier and more blendable, and in fact the third ingredient in these blushes is kaolin clay, which is usually added to absorb oil and absorb humectants. It's usually like a drier, more powdery ingredient. So it's just something that I want to call out. Like obviously it has those very, popular buzzwordy ingredients, but I don't really know how much skincare you're going to be getting from those. I'll also show you a close-up of the packaging. It's a little bit bulky, but I still kind of like it. It's plastic, but it feels relatively substantial. As far as I know, the packaging is also recyclable. I love that they went with this beautiful translucent lilac. I feel like in general, Kosas just did a fantastic job making these blushes look very aesthetically pleasing. Like they all look absolutely gorgeous in the promo photos and in person. I like that they went with the marbled pattern for each of the blushes. Of course, when you just, swirl the two colors together, you do just get one color. So it's a little bit gimmicky, but I don't really care. The aesthetics are giving. These have a 12-month shelf life, friends. They are made in Italy. You get 4.5 grams of product, and I don't detect any fragrance. I'm gonna show you the two shades that I picked up. The first one that I have here is called Thrill, and this one is described as a vibrant blood orange. Such a perfect, bright, juicy pigmented shade for summer. And then the other one that I picked up is a little bit more neutral. This one is called Dreamland, and this one is described as a rosy bronze. Notice here in the swatches that these are decently pigmented, but they also have a really nice, beautiful sheen. They definitely are glowy as described, but they're not as glowy as like the Rare Beauty blushes that just came out. They're not like borderline highlighter glowy. They just have a nice, beautiful sheen, and you guys will see in the demo in just a second how these look like on my cheeks. And real quick, if you happen to be new here, I want to take a quick second to say hi, welcome. My name is Sophia, and this is my channel all about luxury and high-end makeup. We have a lot of fun with beauty on this channel. I do a lot of new product reviews, but we also have some interesting intellectual industry discussions as well. So if you love high-end beauty or you're just trying to learn a little bit more about it and figure out what you should buy, definitely hit that subscribe button to join our fam. We would love to have you. And as a quick reminder, the blushes, all the comparison products, the makeup that is on my face, it's all going to be linked in the description box down below. I do use affiliate links, so when you shop through them, it goes towards supporting my channel. So thank you guys so much. And with that, let's get back to the rest of this review. All right, let's get these blushes on my cheeks. I'm going to kick things off with the shade Thrill. This is the Vibrant Blood Orange. It is the more vibrant one of the two that I picked up. I'm using a Refer number 5 blush brush, and I'm going to be very careful with this because this blush is actually pretty pigmented. You can see how much I picked up there, at least to start a nice little wash of color so you guys can see kind of like the before and after. And then I will show you how much you can build this up. It's definitely more of a drier formula because it has that kaolin clay in there. It doesn't feel particularly buttery or anything like that, but I do think that these blend very well. I would just recommend being very, very careful about how much you dip your brush in if you're looking for something a little bit more natural and if you are very fair like me. So right there we have the shade Thrill. I think this is a really pretty shade for summer. Personally, I like warm tones and I like sort of orangey, more terracotta types of blushes in the summer. So I'm really, really digging this. Let's get this on the other cheek so you can see the full look. You could also put this on your eyes. Obviously, you can, for the most part, put all blushes on your eyes and do more of like a monochromatic type of look. And there you have it. This is the shade Thrill. Comment down below and let me know what you think. These blushes have a very nice kind of glowy sheen, but as you can see, I don't think they highlight any texture, and I don't see any like harsh glitter particles, nothing like that. It's not, you know, borderline highlighter. It's just a nice, light, glowy finish. Now, what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to build this up on my cheeks, and it's gonna look clownish, okay? But I just wanna show you how pigmented these blushes are, how much you can actually build them up. Maybe you have a deeper skin tone and you're watching this and you're like, oh, what is that gonna look like on me? Just watch. You can definitely build these up. They're very pigmented. And actually, I think you can see even more once I build it up, that really beautiful glowy sheen that it has. So there you go. That is the shade Thrill built up on the cheek, just in case you were wondering. I have fresh cheeks, and now we're gonna be going into the other shade, which is Dreamland. I have a feeling this is gonna be one of the best-selling shades just because it's kind of like the perfect, slightly toasty, rosy nude. Really, really great for every day. And this one, it's not as vibrant as Thrill, but you definitely get really nice pigmentation. I don't really have to work too hard to get a nice little flush on the skin. I will link down below all the other makeup that I have on my face. I have a very, very light application of the Victoria Beckham bronzer just because it's matte and I didn't want it to show any shine to kind of interfere with this application. So pretty, right? This is the perfect nude shade. So here is with just the bronzer, and then here is with Dreamland. Let's get this on the other cheek. Very easy. I don't have to worry too much about putting too much of this on just because the color is a little bit lighter. Beautiful. I'm actually gonna put a little bit up here as well. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of this on the eyes as well because I really like this color. Just add a little bit of like dimension and rosiness to the crease right here. Yes, so pretty and summery. And here we are. This is Dreamland. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of this shade. Are you more of a neutral person or do you like a more vibrant blush just like Thrill? Let me know. Once again, I'll get a little bit closer here in the natural light so you can see that really beautiful, but not too much style of glow that I get from these blushes. And once again, before we move on, I will build this blush up so we can see how pigmented this one can get. And it is a lighter shade, but I do think it is still quite pigmented. You see a lot more of the rosiness when you really kind of like dig in and swirl it around because you've got like the lighter nude and then you have more of the rose shade. And that really, really comes out when you build up this blush. So that is what it looks like when it's built up. And you can see the beautiful glow. As promised, I want to take a minute now to compare these new blushes from Kosas up against the very expensive Hourglass blushes because, I mean, do they not look totally similar? Okay, they look very, very similar, so we need to know. And then also my favorite glowy blushes, the ones from RMS. Usually if I want that beautiful airbrush type of glowy look like you saw in the demo just now with the Kosas blushes, I will reach for these or I will reach for the Hourglass. For the sake of comparing the formula, I'm gonna be using the Hourglass Butterfly palette. This was launched 2 holidays ago, I believe. There's a shade in here that is very similar to Thrill that I thought we could use. It's this one right here. Actually, this one's pretty similar as well, but we're gonna use this one because it has like that marbled effect. This one is called Soft Blush. Take a look at the swatches. At the top, we have the Kosas, and then at the bottom, we have the Hourglass. The main difference is that, at least on average, the Hourglass blushes tend to be a little bit less pigmented and a little bit more subtle overall. Again, on average, there are some Hourglass blushes that are a little bit more pigmented than others, but I would say in general, the Hourglass ones tend to be just a little bit more sheer. And for some people, that might look a little bit more natural. I will also say that I think the radiance and the glow that you get from the Hourglass blushes are just a little bit, again, just a little bit more refined. The particles seem to be a little bit more finely milled. When I look at the swatches of the Kosas blushes, and actually when I hold them up to the light, I can see the mica a little bit more clearly. It's not chunky, it's not glittery. Again, you know, you can take a look at the demos again in the natural light. I don't think that it's super apparent. It doesn't look like a highlighter, but they're just ever so slightly less refined. That is the difference that I'm seeing. It's very, very subtle. It's not a huge difference, but hopefully you can tell from that swatch comparison the subtle differences between the two formulas. Now for the RMS blushes, I have two comparisons to show you in this one. I'm going to compare Thrill with Sangria from RMS, and then I'm going to compare Dreamland from Kosas up against our fan favorite Crystal Slipper from RMS. So here you guys can see the swatches. The Kosas are on the top and then the RMS are at the bottom. The difference here is that the RMS blushes in general are more pigmented and they are more glowy, more luminous. They're just a little bit more impactful. I will also say that the RMS blushes, they aren't quite as dry. They're a little bit silkier. Again, they're not like miles better than the Kosas ones, but they do have a little bit of a different feel to them. If you have drier skin and maybe you're kind of worried about the ones from Kosas looking a little bit dry or textured on your skin, then I would probably check out the ones from RMS. And then all together as a roundup, I will show you all three blushes swatch. We have the Hourglass in Coral Haze, then we have the Kosas in Thrill, and then we have the RMS in Sangria. I would say that in general, the Kosas are kind of like a mix between the Hourglass and the RMS. If you felt like the Hourglass ones were just not really impactful enough, or maybe not as pigmented, or maybe you just couldn't find a decent shade for what you were looking for, check out the Kosas ones. And if you tried the RMS, but you felt like maybe it was just way too shimmery or way too pigmented for you, then once again, the Kosas might be a good in-between. The last thing that I want to mention before I share my final thoughts is just the price of all these blushes, because I feel like that plays an important role. Taking a look at the Hourglass website, the full-size blushes from Hourglass are $46. I do have a 10% off coupon code to the Hourglass website that you can use year-round, but even with the 10% off, guys, they're still pretty expensive, okay? And I was checking how much product you get, and you actually get a little bit less product in the full-size Hourglass blushes than you do with the Kosas. In fact, the mini-size Hourglass blushes are the same price as the full-size ones from Kosas. So the Kosas ones are definitely a better value. Now taking a look at the RMS blushes, these retail for $35, so they're like a couple dollars more than the ones from Kosas. I do have a 20% off coupon code that you can use year-round on the RMS website. And when you use the coupon code, it brings it down to $28. So $1 cheaper, it's like almost the same. And actually, I was surprised. I was checking how much product you get with the RMS ones, and you get a whopping 7 grams, whereas with the Kosas, you get 4.5 grams. So it's up to you, friends, but the best value is definitely the RMS, but I still think that the Kosas ones are a really great affordable option compared to, you know, the Hourglass ones or some other luxury ones at Sephora. So in summary, friends, I really do like these blushes. I think it is the whole combination of the beautiful formula, the shade range, the packaging, and most importantly, the price, because when I take a look at similar products at Sephora, almost all of them are more expensive. I do think that this is a great, more affordable option, or I guess like dupe, almost dupe to the Hourglass blushes, which is great. And like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people complain that the Hourglass formula is not pigmented enough, or that they don't have a wide enough shade range. And I really like the fact that these ones from Kosas, they come in a lot of really beautiful colors. Hourglass in particular, you guys know, they kind of annoy me because they never come out with any neutral blushes, either in the main line or in their palettes. They do a lot of pink colors, and they've got some mauvey ones in there as well. Don't get me wrong, still love the Hourglass blushes, but that definitely annoys me. So I really like the fact that I have an option like Dreamland right here if I want a beautiful glowy neutral blush. Again, I don't think that they are an absolute must-have. I don't think you need to run out and get them. Don't let the fact that like they're super, you know, beautiful and aesthetically pleasing make you think that you absolutely need these. But are they nice? Are they a good value? Are they beautiful? Are they worth it? I absolutely think that they are. And that's all I got today. I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below letting me know all of your thoughts about these blushes. Which one do you think you would like the best? The Hourglass, the Kosas, or the RMS? Also, let me know if there are any more comparisons or other demos that you would like to see with these blushes, and I would be happy to help. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.